Before the legendary vehicles rolled in, the Soviets built everything: tiny tankettes, swimming tanks, blazing fast BTs, and multi-turreted beasts. This wild lineup shows how the Red Army evolved to crush the Axis. Let's begin with light tanks and tankettes. T-27, this was a tiny tankette. Based on a British design, it saw initial service but was quickly deemed obsolete for combat. T-37A, the Soviet Union's first mass-produced amphibious tank. It was useful for reconnaissance and river crossings in the early years of the war. T-38, an improvement over the T-37A. This little amphibious tank still had thin armour, limiting its usefulness when facing serious opposition. T-40, a highly modern light tank for 1940. It featured a functional amphibious capability and good mobility, serving primarily in reconnaissance roles. Then, T-40S, this was the land-only variant of the T-40. Lacking the heavy amphibious flotation equipment, it provided slightly better speed and stability. T-26, a true mainstay of the Red Army in 1941. This light infantry tank was robust, highly numerous, but suffered heavy losses early in the invasion. BT-2, the very start of the successful BT series of fast tanks. Its distinguishing feature was its ability to run on wheels or tracks. Next, BT-5. This introduced a much-needed increase in firepower. It carried a superior 45mm cannon, greatly boosting its combat value. BT-7, the final major iteration of the BT fast tank design. It utilized improved welding techniques and a more reliable engine, making it fast and potent. Next, BT-7M, the definitive BT model. It switched to the powerful and reliable V2 diesel engine, sharing common components with the future T-34. BT-7A, an artillery support variant of the standard BT-7. It featured a short-barreled 76mm gun for high explosive fire. T-60, a classic tank designed during the critical production crunch of 1941. It was cheap to build and often served as a mobile anti-tank vehicle. T-70, an effort to improve upon the T-60's design. It featured a two-man crew and more substantial armor protection. Now, this is the T-70M. This variant featured wider tracks and an improved suspension. These changes helped dramatically increase its reliability and mobility on poor terrain. T-80, a rare and sophisticated light tank. It was the final development in the series, but production was soon cancelled in favour of medium tanks. T-50, one of the best light infantry tanks of the early war. It had excellent sloped armour, but it proved too complex and expensive for mass production. T-18, the first truly indigenous Soviet tank design. It was based on the French Renault FT and primarily served as a training vehicle when the war began. Next up, medium tanks. T-28, a formidable interwar medium tank with 3 turrets. Though imposing, its thin armour made it vulnerable to German anti-tank guns in 1941. T-34-76, the tank that revolutionised warfare in 1941. With superb sloped armour and wide tracks, it defined the Soviet tank fleet for the mid-war period. T-34-57, a specialised tank destroyer version of the T-34. Its 57mm anti-tank gun was highly effective against German armour at range. Now, this is the T-34-85, the ultimate T-34 fighting machine. Its 3-man turret and powerful 85mm gun restored its supremacy against late-war German heavy tanks. Continuing with heavy tanks. T-35, the imposing 5-turreted heavy tank. Built for parade displays, its mechanical reliability was poor, and most were quickly lost in 1941. KV-1, the Soviet heavy tank titan of 1941. Its armour was virtually impervious to most German guns, causing panic among the invading forces. KV-2, the ultimate bunker buster. It mounted a massive 152mm howitzer in an enormous, imposing turret. It was slow but devastating. Up next, KV-1S, a speed-focused variant of the KV-1. It sacrificed some armour protection to achieve better road speed and overall mobility. KV-85, a crucial stopgap tank. It merged the KV hull with the powerful new 85mm turret, bridging the gap before the 1S series arrived. IS-1, the direct successor to the KV series. This heavy tank featured superior sloped armour and the excellent 85mm gun, IS-2, one of the most powerful tanks of World War II. Its 122mm gun could defeat nearly any German vehicle or fortification. SEM-K, an early prototype heavy tank. It was designed with multiple turrets, but only one unit was ever built before the design philosophy shifted. Next, T-100, a massive, multi-turreted experimental heavy tank. It competed directly against the SMK design, but was rejected in favour of the KV series. Then KV-220, an experimental super heavy KV variant. It featured extremely thick armour and a long gun, though it only saw limited combat testing. T-150, a little-known attempt to improve the KV-1's armour. It proved to be too heavy and was deemed unsuccessful compared to later designs. Next, KV-8, a flamethrower tank based on the KV-1 chassis. It replaced the standard main gun with a flamethrower system for clearing fortifications. KV-8S, the streamlined flamethrower version utilizing the lighter KV-1S chassis. This gave the crew better mobility for close-range assaults. Continuing with self-propelled guns, ZIX-30, an emergency tank destroyer built in 1941. It mounted a 57mm anti-tank gun onto a light artillery tractor chassis. Up next, Su-76, a simple, light, self-propelled gun. It served primarily as infantry support and as a highly mobile tank destroyer in the early war. Su-76 Armement, the final and most numerous version of the Su-76. It fixed the early mechanical problems and became a reliable workhorse. Su-122, a powerful self-propelled howitzer built on the T-34 chassis. It was exceptional at providing close fire support against fortified positions. Su-85, the first true purpose-built Soviet tank destroyer. It featured the excellent 85mm anti-tank gun mounted in a low-profile chassis, Su-85M. This version incorporated the commander's cupola and thicker frontal armour from the Su-100. A definite improvement in protection, Su-100, a formidable late-war tank destroyer. Its powerful 100mm gun could take on any German tank at combat range. Su-152, known as the Beast Killer. This self-propelled gun mounted the massive 152mm howitzer, devastating against heavy tanks and fortifications alike. Up next, ISU-122, an adaptation of the 1S chassis for a powerful assault gun role. It fielded the huge 122mm cannon, ISU-122S, the improved version featuring a faster loading mechanism and a distinct muzzle brake. It increased the rate of fire dramatically. Now, this is the ISU-152, the ultimate heavy assault gun of the Soviet Union. This self-propelled artillery piece used its 152mm gun as a massive close support weapon. The next one, Su-100Y, an enormous prototype self-propelled gun. It was primarily used for coastal defense, but it did see limited action during the defense of Moscow. Su-14, a heavily armored pre-war prototype self-propelled howitzer. Only a few were built, and they were pressed into service in 1941. Now this is the Su-14-2, an improved variant of the Su-14. Like its predecessor, it had immense firepower, but was slow and difficult to move. Let's move on to armoured cars. BA-27, the very first mass-produced Soviet armoured car. It was based on the hull of the T-18 light tank, seeing initial service in the early 30s. Fei-Sai, a very light, fast and agile armoured car. It was used primarily by the NKVD and for early reconnaissance missions. Fei-IM, an upgraded version of the Fa-1. This variant used the modernised GAZM-1 chassis, improving its speed and reliability. BA-20, a widely used light armoured car. It was quick, nimble, and served extensive duty in reconnaissance and courier roles. Up next, BA-20M, the modernised version of the BA-20. It had a stronger engine and a distinct conical turret, improving its fighting characteristics. BA-3, a heavy six-wheeled armoured car. It offered good cross-country mobility and was armed with a substantial 45mm anti-tank gun. BA-6, an incremental improvement over the BA-3. This vehicle introduced better armor protection and wider tires for improved traction. BA-10, the most numerous and effective Soviet heavy armored car of the pre-war era. It was fast and packed a real punch with its 45mm gun. BA-64, a brilliant late-war light armored car. It utilized the GAZ-67 chassis, resulting in a cheap, highly maneuverable 4x4 vehicle. BA-11, a rare but heavily armored variant designed for frontline reconnaissance. Only a small number were built before being quickly lost in 1941. Moving on to tractors and prime movers. T-20, known as Komsomolets. This light armored artillery tractor was essential for pulling light guns and delivering frontline supplies. STZ-5, a ubiquitous medium artillery tractor. Built in Stalingrad, it was rugged and reliable for moving medium field artillery pieces. Stalinets S-60, a massive, powerful tracked tractor initially designed for agricultural use. It was quickly militarized for heavy towing duties. The next one, Voroshilovets, one of the most powerful and effective Soviet prime movers. This heavy vehicle was crucial for towing large artillery pieces like the 152mm guns. Next, Comintern, an early, powerful tracked artillery tractor. It was heavily used to tow medium and heavy artillery pieces throughout the war. UR-12, a heavy-wheeled truck and prime mover. Its powerful engine made it suitable for towing medium guns and recovering damaged tanks. Next on the list is trucks and utility vehicles. GAZ-AA, the Soviet equivalent of the American FORD Model AA truck. It was a simple, two-wheel drive truck that formed the backbone of military logistics. GAZ-2000, the modernized version of the GAZAA. This truck featured an upgraded engine, making it marginally more powerful and reliable. Next, GAZU-AUL, the versatile three-axle version of the standard GAZ truck. Its extra axle improved its capacity and traction for off-road use. ZIS-5, known as the Soviet 3-ton workhorse. This truck was produced in massive numbers and was absolutely essential to maintaining the Red Army's mobility. ZIS-5V, the simplified wartime production version of the Z1S5. It featured wooden cabs and stamped fenders to save crucial material. ZIS-6, the six-wheel drive heavy version of the Z1S5. It served as a prime mover for light artillery and as a mobile anti-aircraft platform. Yag-6, a heavy-duty pre-war Soviet truck. It was often used for specialized roles, including mounting anti-aircraft weaponry. Yag-10, the heavy three-axle version of the Yag series. This truck was one of the few Soviet vehicles capable of moving the heaviest artillery pieces in the early war. ZS-42, a half-track transport vehicle. It was developed to improve mobility in deep mud or snow, where standard wheeled trucks often got stuck. The next one, GAZ-60, a rare semi-track military vehicle developed for off-road towing. It offered superior traction compared to standard GAZ trucks. GAZ-M1, known as the MKA. This reliable passenger car was adapted from American FORD designs and was used extensively for staff and liaison duties. GAZ-61, the first all-wheel drive, 4x4 passenger car in the Soviet Union. It provided superior off-road capability for commanders. GAZ-64, the Soviet answer to the American Jeep. This early light utility vehicle was essential for troop transport and reconnaissance on the battlefield. GAZ-67, an improved version of the GAZ-64 utility vehicle. It featured a wider track, improving stability and reliability off-road. Finishing off with Aerosans, RF-8, a light aerosine, essentially a motorized propeller sled. It was used extensively for rapid reconnaissance and mail delivery over frozen terrain. Next, NKL-26, a heavily armed battle aerosine. It featured armor plating and an aircraft engine, allowing it to quickly deliver machine gun fire across the snow. NKL-16, the unarmed transport version of the combat aerosan. It was critical for rapidly moving supplies and personnel during the harsh Russian winter.